perm having name. You just want to bring the top up. Say, bro, man, you be relevant, and I said what I said, bro. You need a like me to.
It started with one line, one ruthless, unapologetic line that sent shockwaves through the entire rap game. You're so bad for the youth. Nothing positive you do, okay? And just like that, NLE Choppa declared war on NBA YoungBoy. Nobody saw it coming. These two weren't just rappers, they were once fans of each other, allies in the trenches, brothers in the booth. But what was once respect turned to rivalry, and now it's all-out war. When NLE dropped his new track, KO, it wasn't a diss, it was a declaration. Line after line, Choppa dismantled YoungBoy's image, his influence, even his legacy. He didn't hold back. He didn't sneak diss. He called him out by energy, and the streets felt every word. The internet went nuclear. Fans were screaming. Other rappers were ducking for cover. And when NBA YoungBoy's own mother jumped into the chaos with a fiery message of her own, the line between music and madness completely disappeared. But here's where it gets crazy. The deeper you look, the more twisted this story becomes. Because this isn't just about two artists trading bars. Oh no, this is about loyalty, betrayal, jealousy, and power. It's about two young kings fighting for the same throne and the world picking sides. Insiders say this beef has been simmering since 2022, and that KO was never just a song. It was a message, a warning shot. And YoungBoy, he fired back with venom, calling Choppa irrelevant, washed up, and desperate for views. But that was before things got personal, before the live streams, before the fan base wars, before police started worrying about YoungBoy. Shows turning into riots. This isn't rap beef anymore, spiritual warfare in the hip-hop world. And tonight, we're breaking down every lyric, every leak, every reaction, and the one twist that could change everything. Because after KO, the rap game will never be the same again. Before the chaos. Before the entire internet turned into a war zone between Team NLE and Team YoungBoy, there was a different story. A story about admiration, respect, and the kind of brotherhood that only the rap game can twist into betrayal to understand why NLE Choppa's KO hit so hard. You've got to go back to where it all started, back to 2019, when NLE was one of NBA YoungBoy's biggest fans. Back then, Choppa wasn't throwing shade or he was showing love. When YoungBoy got locked up in 2019, NLE dropped an entire track titled Free YoungBoy. It wasn't just a freestyle, it was a tribute. He idolized him, shouted him out, and called him one of the realest to ever do it. Back then, Choppa was that Memphis kid with energy, trying to find his lane, and YoungBoy was already dominating the streets, the charts, and the internet. To Choppa, YoungBoy was the blueprint, but something changed. Fast forward to late 2020, and the air started to shift. YoungBoy's music got darker, more aggressive. His lyrics became loaded with pain, paranoia, and rage. Fans worshipped it. The media feared it. But some artists, they started feeling uneasy. Then came 2022. YoungBoy dropped Bring the Hook, a track that threw the entire hip-hop community into chaos. In it, he dissed King Von and O-Block, a move that split the industry down the middle. You were either with YoungBoy, or you were against him, and that's where NLE drew his line in the sand. See? Choppa had always respected YoungBoy's hustle, but when Von died, something in him snapped. He saw the pain that moment caused, not just to the streets, but to the culture. He couldn't stay silent anymore. So when a Chicago rapper named Lil Reese called YoungBoy out, Choppa backed him publicly, saying, "I stamp that." Just 3 words. But those 3 words changed everything in the rap game. Silence is neutral. Speech is declaration. And by speaking up, LE had just declared war, even if he didn't realize it yet. NBA YoungBoy wasn't the type to let anything slide. Just days later, he dropped "Know Like I Know." Buried in the bars was a line that left no doubt about who he was aiming at. "I bet your mama be destroyed when we send you to God for making statements." That wasn't a diss. That was a threat. Poetic, cold, and calculated. And suddenly, Lele found himself standing on the opposite side of a rapper he once called an inspiration. After that, the energy between them was toxic. Interviews got awkward. Fans started picking apart old clips, old posts, old lyrics, looking for signs that this fallout had been brewing all along. But here's the twist. Choppa didn't fold. He didn't hide. He didn't drop a sub. He went quiet for a year. No beef, no response, no petty posts. Fans thought maybe it had all blown over. Maybe he'd moved on. Maybe he was done. They were wrong. Because in 2024, out of nowhere, NLE Choppa came back swinging with KO. And it wasn't a warning shot. It was a lyrical uppercut straight to YoungBoy's ego. From the opening line, Choppa didn't just diss YoungBoy's music. He went for his character. He accused him of being toxic for the youth, of glorifying violence he didn't live, of leading kids down a path of destruction while pretending to be a role model. It was bold. It was brutal. And it was the kind of honesty that no one expected. You the reason these young dudes act like demons? You the reason they crash out for no reason? That's not just a diss. That's a diagnosis. The moment the track dropped, the internet froze. Nobody wanted to believe what they were hearing. This wasn't playful competition. This was Choppa burning bridges, calling out a man with one of the most dangerous fan bases in hip-hop. And then the reactions started pouring in. Charleston White, never one to bite his tongue, praised Nell for saying what everyone else was scared to say. He went on a wild rant saying NBA YoungBoys fans don't need concerts. They need counseling. Even DJ Academics, who had covered both rappers for years, was stunned. He went live saying, "I didn't think Choppa had the guts to do it." This ain't a subliminal. This is a full-on message. The crazy part. Nell didn't just stop at lyrics. He backed it up with visuals. In the KO music video, Choppa recreated the vibe of a boxing match. Gloves on, lights flashing, victory pose symbolizing that this was his round. But fans quickly noticed something deeper. Hidden references. Subtle gestures and scenes eerily resembling YoungBoy's own music videos. It wasn't just a diss, it was a mirror. He was throwing YoungBoy's whole image back at him, like saying, "You made this monster. Now I'm here to knock it out." But if you thought NLE was the only one with smoke, think again. Because while the fans were digesting the track, NBA YoungBoy's mother jumped into the ring herself. And when she spoke, it wasn't subtle, it was nuclear. That's when this beef went from rap battle to family feud. And from that moment, Bouge, it was clear. This wasn't about music anymore. This was personal. This was pride. And for both sides. There was no going back. The night KO dropped, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Within minutes, timelines were flooded with clips of NLE Choppa pacing through flashing lights, throwing lyrical punches that hit harder than most rappers' entire discographies. The bars were venomous, surgical, and unapologetically aimed right at NBA YoungBoy. This wasn't the kind of diss that left room for debate. This was Choppa taking the gloves off and saying, "I don't fear you. You send kids to do what you wouldn't do. You preach pain like it's gospel. But when the pressure hits, you fold too." That line broke the internet. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram all melted into one massive firestorm of debates. Did NLE really just come for YoungBoy's character? One fan wrote. Others were posting memes of NLE ending careers, while diehard YB fans started declaring digital war. It wasn't just a diss track anymore, it was a line drawn in blood between two legions of loyal fan bases. But the real chaos didn't start until NBA YoungBoy's mom, Shirhanda Gooden, entered the chat. If you thought the sons were wild, the mothers were feral. She went off on Instagram Live, raw, unfiltered, pure emotion. Her voice shaking with fury. She came for NLE like a storm. "You want to talk about my son being bad for the youth? Boy, you out here dancing like a ballerina and preaching peace while dissing the same man who fed your inspiration. Don't play with me, little boy." She wasn't done. No. She called him jealous, said he was bitter because her son's tour was breaking records, and even clowned his hair, calling him a glow stick with no charge. The internet went crazy. Clips of her rant were reposted millions of times. Fans were both laughing and horrified. Because in hip-hop, when someone's mom jumps in, that's no longer lyrical beef. That's personal war. But that wasn't even the wildest part. As Shurhanda was unloading on Choppa, something much bigger was brewing behind the scenes. Something that none of the fans knew yet. Because according to insiders close to the situation, NLE Choppa didn't just randomly decide to drop KO. The track was reportedly recorded months earlier, right after a major label meeting, a meeting where someone from YoungBoy's camp allegedly tried to block Choppa's upcoming collab deal. That's right, this beef might not have started with words. It may have started with business. Apparently, NLE had been in talks to feature on a project tied to a major streaming platform, something that would have boosted his visibility worldwide. But when he got word that the platform was already in exclusive talks with NBA YoungBoy's label, things turned sour. Choppa felt blackballed. A source told one gossip outlet he saw doors closing that were supposed to open. And that's when he said, "Bet, I'll do it my way." So when KO dropped, it wasn't just a lyrical jab, it was a retaliation against an entire system that, in Choppa's eyes, was trying to silence him. But here's the twist, and this is where things get spooky. While everyone was dissecting the bars, some eagle-eyed fans noticed something eerie in the music video. At the 147 mark, a quick flash of a photo appears in the background. It's blurry, almost hidden, but when slowed down, it's a picture of YoungBoy's mugshot with KO stamped across it in red. Coincidence? Not a chance. That visual sent chills down spines. NLE wasn't just throwing shots, he was sending a message. You're the past, I'm the present. Almost instantly, YoungBoy's camp clapped back on social media. A member of Trey YoungBoy's crew posted a cryptic Instagram story saying, "Don't poke the demon if you can't handle hellfire." Fans took it as a warning. Then, only hours later, YoungBoy himself broke his silence with a short but lethal message on his own IG story. He didn't tag NLE, didn't name drop, but everyone knew who it was for. These rappers need me. I make M relevant again. They can't trend unless my name's in their mouth. Boom! The gasoline hit the flames. Within minutes, both fan bases were going to war. People were digging up old interviews, screen capping old tweets, even analyzing old lyrics for hidden meanings. One fan posted, "Bro Choppa used to say YB was his favorite rapper." This is literally student versus master energy. Another wrote, "This ain't no friendly sparring. This is a coup. NLE wants that throne." Even Charleston White jumped in again, fueling the fire further. "I told y'all, NLE is the first rapper with the guts to check this boy. These rappers be scared of him, but not Choppa." He said it with his chest. And while the internet roasted, reposted, and ranted, YoungBoy was getting ready for something much bigger. His first full tour in 5 years. It was already controversial, with entire police departments reportedly on alert. But now, with NLE's KO going viral, there were whispers that YoungBoy might actually address the diss live on stage. Every fan in the world was watching. Every camera was ready. And during a packed-out show in Atlanta, the same city where King Von was killed, YoungBoy did the unthinkable. He performed his infamous diss track, "I Hate YoungBoy," for the first time ever. Crowds lost their minds. The energy was pure chaos. Part celebration, part rebellion. As fans screamed his name, he smirked, pacing the stage like a general who just conquered another territory. And then, midway through the song, he stopped, looked dead into the camera, and said, "Y'all love them peace-talking rappers, huh? I don't play that fake woke stuff." It wasn't subtle. Everyone knew who he meant. The crowd roared and Twitter erupted again. This was no longer just a musical feud, this was a movement. NLE Choppa versus NBA YoungBoy. Love versus hate. Peace versus chaos. Two philosophies colliding under the flashing lights of fame and ego. But the craziest part, neither of them knew what was about to drop next. A leak so shocking, so unexpected, that it would flip the entire narrative upside down and expose secrets nobody saw coming. And it was all captured. On camera, by the time the smoke from NLE Choppa's KO had settled, the rap game wasn't just divided. It was at war. Every blog, every reaction channel, every fan page was caught up in the same question. What happens next? But nobody could have predicted what came next. Because this beef wasn't just about bars anymore. It was about pride, betrayal, and the one shocking revelation that would take things from lyrical to lethal. It all started the morning after NBA YoungBoy's explosive performance in Atlanta. The internet was still buzzing. Hashtags like #TeamYB and #TeamChopp are trending worldwide. But behind the scenes, Choppa's camp was panicking. Rumors were spreading that someone from YoungBoy's team had gotten their hands on unreleased footage, something that could destroy Choppa's image in one click. No one knew what it was, but whispers said it came from an old studio session. One that Choppa had forgotten was even recorded. By noon, a 15-second clip hit Twitter. It showed NLE in the studio, sitting with a producer, the same one who used to work with YoungBoy, saying something that sounded like, "YB's scared to drop when I drop. He knows I'm next." The clip went viral instantly. Out of context, it made Choppa look cocky, even delusional. Fans flooded his comments with laughing emojis and snake emojis, saying, "You'll never be on YB's level." But then another clip dropped. This time, it wasn't just words, it was video of NLE recording a different version of KO. The unreleased cut included even more aggressive lyrics, bars that accused YoungBoy of snitching. "You talk that gang life. But who you really telling? You beat your cases faster than they even spell it." Get that line right there? It detonated the internet. Everyone knew the unspoken rule of the streets. You don't throw that word around unless you can prove it. And YoungBoy's fanbase took it as the ultimate insult. Within hours, #LickaPazdone was trending. Blogs ran with headlines like "NLE crosses the line," "calls YA snitch in leaked version of KO," and "the diss that might end a career." Even mainstream outlets started covering it. The tension had gone from hip-hop drama to national conversation. And that's when things really turned ugly. That same night, NBA YoungBoy went live on Instagram. His eyes were cold, his tone calm to calm. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't shout. He just said one thing that sent chills down spines everywhere. "Y'all rappers say my name for views. Keep playing though. I'm not the one to troll." Fans knew what that meant. When Y speaks quietly, something's coming. And sure enough, just 48 hours later, YoungBoy dropped a new freestyle titled "Relevant." The cover art was a boxing ring, blood splattered on the mat, with a single glove lying in the corner. The opening line said it all. "You swing, I counter. You bark, I bite. You talk peace in the morning, plot war at night." He never mentioned NLE's name, but he didn't have to. Every line was dripping with venom. Every syllable was coded rage. "He called me bad for the youth. That boy confused, preaching healing but can't heal his own views." The internet went feral. Everyone was dissecting bars like they were Bible verses. One YouTube analyst said, "This isn't a diss track. This is psychological warfare." But the real twist came hours later, when a voice note leaked online, allegedly between one of YoungBoy's engineers and an insider from Choppa's team. The message: "Bro, they're both recording tracks for the same rollout. This beef might not even be real." Wait, what? The theory hit Twitter like an earthquake. Could it be possible that this whole feud was planned? That KO and Relevant were just two sides of a marketing stunt to boost both their visibility? Half the internet believed it. half refused to dot, and then, as if on cue, a YouTube account popped up claiming to have proof. The channel dropped a minute expose showing both artists allegedly in the same recording compound weeks before KO released screenshots, studio tags, a faint reflection in a producer's Insta story that looked way too much like NLE's hoodie. Coincidence? Maybe, but fans weren't buying it? Comment sections were chaos. So this whole thing fake. Ain't no way they this good at acting. Say both getting money while we arguing? It was the biggest twist the beef didn't need, but totally deserved. Meanwhile, in the middle of the madness, one man spoke up who could change everything. DJ Academics, on his late-night stream. He looked straight into the camera and said, "I talked to people on both sides. Trust me, it's not fake. This is real tension, real hurt. Choppa feels like YB tried to erase him, and Y feels betrayed by a fan who turned foe." He leaned closer and added, "And I'm hearing from inside sources. Something's coming. A response video that's gonna break the internet." Fans held their breath. Then, the next morning, 9 a.m. sharp, it dropped .NBA YoungBoy, Dead Silence Freestyle. It wasn't uploaded on his main channel. It was a shadow drop, no promo, no tags, no warning. Just raw fury. And within 10 minutes, it was trending #1. YoungBoy wasn't rapping this time. He was venting, because the next reaction wouldn't come from a rapper. It would come from the industry itself. The moment Dead Silence dropped, the entire internet went into meltdown. You could feel it, that collective gasp that sweeps through social media when something massive happens. It wasn't just fans reacting anymore. It was everyone. Rappers, producers, bloggers, even brand managers. Everybody had an opinion, Kate, and nobody was staying quiet. Twitter became a digital war zone. One side flooded the feed with #LongLiveYB, while the other screamed #Team CHOPPAKO. Even verified artists started picking sides. Memphis rappers like Glorilla and Duke Deuce threw subtle support behind NLE, while Baton Rouge legends stood firm behind YoungBoy. The South was split in half. You had fans making fake boxing posters. Y versus NLE, the real KO, trending on X for 2 days straight. You had YouTube reactors dropping hour-long breakdowns analyzing every bar, every breath, every frame of both videos like detectives in a hip-hop crime scene. One comment under a reaction video summed it up perfectly. "This ain't beef. This is biblical. We're watching history." But the reactions didn't stop with fans. They got bigger. Charleston White went on another viral rant. This time praising YoungBoy for clapping back with maturity. "You see that? He ain't yelling, he ain't cussing, he just talking truth. That boy controlled his demon. That's growth." Meanwhile, Choppa still throwing tantrums like a child who lost his toy. A day later, Charleston flipped completely, going live again to say he was Team NLE, claiming Choppa's words in KO were the most honest bars of the year. 'Twas chaos. Even the commentators couldn't keep up with their own opinions. And just when fans thought things couldn't get any more insane, they did. Because out of nowhere, Lil Durk finally broke his silence. Remember, Choppa had aligned himself with Durk ever since the King Von situation? Fans were waiting to see if Durk would step in or stay out. But late one night, on a cryptic IG story, he posted just 3 words that sent shockwaves across the industry. He said what we all think. No name, no context, no hashtags. Just that, it was enough. The post got screenshotted, shared millions of times, and immediately interpreted as Durk backing Choppa, confirming that the beef had officially transcended music and entered street politics. Meanwhile, on YoungBoy's side, things were heating up too. His mother, still fired up from her previous rant, went live again. "They mad 'cause my baby winning. They mad 'cause he still got the #1 album. Don't nobody want to see him lose 'cause they know when he talk, the world listens." And she wasn't wrong. Dead Silence had already racked up 12 million views in 24 hours. climbing to the top of YouTube's trending list faster than any. YoungBoy drop in months. Even DJ Academics looked like he couldn't believe it. On his Twitch stream, he leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. I told y'all this beef wasn't fake. These two really out for each other's throats. But you know what's wild? They both winning. Every time one drops, the other trends. This is chess, not checkers. Still, not everyone was celebrating. Some voices in the industry began to condemn both rappers. T.I., who's always had a thing or two to say about the culture, jumped into the conversation on The Breakfast Club. It's sad, man. These young brothers got platforms that reach millions, and instead of building bridges, they burning them down. We gotta stop turning competition into destruction. Okay. But even that message got drowned out by the noise. Fans didn't want peace. They wanted drama. And then came the media coverage. TMZ ran a headline that read, NLE Choppa versus NBA YoungBoy. Hip-hop's new civil war. Complex posted a poll asking, who's winning the beef? With over 500,000 votes. Rolling Stone wrote a think piece titled, The Evolution of Rap Beef, From Street to Stream. Even CNN Entertainment dropped a segment on the feud, highlighting the influence of online rivalries on youth culture. This was no longer about music. It was a social phenomenon. TikTok flooded with edits, NLE in boxing gloves, YoungBoy staring cold into the camera, snippets of KO and dead silence spliced together with explosion, effects and captions like round 1 versus round 2. Some creators made full-blown beef documentaries, treating it like a Netflix series. One viral comment said it best. This is Drake versus Pusha T, but with way more rage and no PR team. Even the law started paying attention. In Louisiana, reports emerged that local police departments were increasing security around YoungBoy's shows due to escalating tensions online. An officer reportedly told a journalist, "We can't tell if it's just social media or something more serious, but we're not taking chances." And amid the chaos, NLE Choppa went live for the first time since KO dropped. He looked calm. It's calm. Sitting in a studio lit by red LEDs, his voice was low but confident. I ain't got beef with nobody. I just said what needed to be said. You can't call yourself a role model if you're leading kids into fire. K paused. But if the shoe fits, that last line broke the internet again. His chat went insane. He talking to YB again. Round 3 coming. This man, fearless. And while that live was climbing the trending page, something unexpected happened. An official statement dropped from a major record label, Atlantic Records, known for working closely with YoungBoy in the past, posted a short PR announcement that read, "We are aware of the ongoing public feud between NLE Choppa and NBA YoungBoy. While we support artistic expression, we strongly discourage artists from engaging in content that promotes hostility or violence. Both are incredibly talented musicians who represent the future of hip-hop, and we hope for mutual respect." Translation: the industry was getting nervous. Sponsors began pulling out of collabs. A sneaker brand paused its campaign with Choppa. A fashion brand quietly postponed its partnership with YB. No one wanted to get caught in the crossfire of two, but was quickly becoming too real. Still, that didn't stop the fans. In fact, it only added more fuel to the fire. Because if corporations were scared, the streets were excited. Clubs started playing KO and dead silence back-to-back like diss track duels. DJs called it the New East versus West. And videos from Atlanta and Baton Rouge nightlife showed crowds chanting lyrics word for word, throwing hands in the air like it was a rap anthem for rebellion. And yet, amid the chaos, something strange began to surface. Whispers of a hidden track. A few cryptic tweets from producers hinted that YoungBoy had one more song locked away. Something nobody was ready for. Fans started calling it the final round. But nobody could have guessed how dark, how explosive, and how personal that final track would be, or the way it would leave the entire industry silent. Because the next drop wasn't going to be a response. It was going to be revenge. By the time the dust started to settle, everyone thought they'd seen it all. The tracks, the lives, the leaks. The industry drama, the entire internet had lived and breathed the NLE Choppa versus NBA YoungBoy feud for weeks. But then came the twist that nobody expected. The twist that changed everything. It started like any other day in the rap world. Quiet on social media. No new posts, no sudden disses. Fans thought maybe, just maybe, the storm was over. That is, until an anonymous SoundCloud account titled Never Broken Again uploaded a track called The Real KO YoungBoy's Truth. Within minutes, it had tens of thousands of plays. Nobody knew if it was real, but once listeners hit play, the entire rap scene froze. It was him, NBA YoungBoy's voice, raw, angry, and unfiltered. But this time, he wasn't just throwing bars. He was telling a story. Y'all think y'all know me, but you don't know half. He said my name for clout, but I got the receipts and the math. He used to call, beg for a feature, send me DMs with prayer hands. Said, big bro, put me on. Now you switch sides for the fans. Every bar was laced with venom. But what came next sent the internet into a meltdown. Because mid-song, the beat cut out, replaced by a recording, a muffled voice, a laugh, then a very distinct Memphis accent. Yeah, once I diss YB. They've gone finally see me for real. Fans instantly recognized the voice. It was NLE Choppa. The entire internet imploded. If the leak was real, it meant NLE had planned the beef, not as a real feud, but as a career move to go viral. To steal the spotlight from YoungBoy.Twitter went nuclear. Wait, so Choppa admitted it was for clout. Bro, this man really faked a whole beef for numbers. YB just destroyed him without even trying. But that was only the beginning, because minutes after the track leaked, Choppa's team went live denying everything. His manager posted, "That's cap. That recording's doctored. Fake audio, fake narrative. Y'all believe anything when it's viral?" Still, it was too late. Screenshots, remixes, TikToks, the clip was everywhere. Even verified rappers started reacting. Lil Baby tweeted, "In this game, Clotal make you lose your soul faster than money." Boosie went live laughing, saying, "They both crazy." But that boy YB moved like he playing chess while everybody else still trying to find the board. Even Kodak Black chimed in with a cryptic post. "Ain't no love in this game. You only matter when you trending." The industry wasn't just watching now, it was judging. Meanwhile, Choppa tried to fight back. He went live, furious, pacing around his studio. His tone was sharp, his voice trembling from equal parts anger and exhaustion. "Y'all really think I need another man's name to stay hot? Stop playing with me." They edited that clip. They scared 'cause I spoke truth. They want to silence me. Spoke truth. They want to silence me. But fans weren't convinced. Every live comment was flooded with #FakeKO, #YB got you, and the killer one, #caught on tape. Even DJ Academics couldn't hide his disbelief. Bro, if that clip's real, Choppa's finished. But if it's fake, this is the most strategic hit job in years. Someone out there playing puppet master. And that's when the real plot twist dropped. Just hours after the real KO leak. A private message between two industry insiders leaked on Reddit. It showed someone allegedly from a rival label had paid to plant the recording online. Their goal? To stir chaos. The rap world was officially in checkmate. Nobody knew who was lying, who was trolling, or who was pulling the strings anymore. Was YoungBoy behind it? Was Choppa? Or was someone else feeding the fire from the shadows? One line in the leaked chat stood out. "Keep beefing. Streams go up 80% when they drop on the same week." It wasn't just beef anymore, it was business warfare. Fans began piecing together clues. YouTube thumbnails with hidden symbols. Producer tags that overlapped in both songs, and an eerie pattern. Both rappers. Tracks dropped at the same minute mark. 7:23 p.m., people started calling it The 723 code. Conspiracy threads blew up overnight. They in on it together. It's an industry PH-op. We got played. Bro, but while fans argued, something darker was happening behind the curtain. Because deep in Baton Rouge, shooting was reported outside a club, the same club where one of YoungBoy's associates was performing. No one was injured. But whispers began flying that it was connected to the beef. That was the final straw for authorities. Within days, multiple cities started increasing police presence at rap shows. Promoters began pulling contracts. Festivals quietly postponed lineups that had either Choppa or YoungBoy hip-hop. Wasn't just trending, it was tense, and as the chaos unfolded, one final move came from YoungBoy himself. At midnight, his Instagram account, which had been silent since the leak, posted a black screen with a single caption: "The truth always finds a mic." Fans went insane trying to decode it. Was he teasing another track? Was he admitting to planting the leak? Or was he warning Choppa that something worse was coming? Theories flooded Reddit, TikTok, and YouTube. One viral post claimed that YoungBoy had already recorded a full-blown diss film, not a song, a movie set to drop on his own YouTube channel. It was rumored to feature scenes reenacting the entire beef with cryptic imagery, unreleased footage, and even references to the fake audio scandal. If true, it meant YoungBoy wasn't done. He was just getting started. And as for NLE Choppa, his final post before going dark said it all. "They want me to crash out. But I'm smarter than that. Real ones know what's up. I'm out the game for now." For now, two words that felt like both surrender and warning. Because in this game, silence is never the end. It's the calm before the storm. And if there's one thing hip-hop has taught us, it's that no beef ever truly dies. It just waits for its next beat drop. The fans can feel it. The industry can sense it. The streets are already whispering. Round 2 isn't a question of if. It's a matter of when, and when it comes, it won't just be diss tracks anymore. It'll be war. And there you have it, the wildest, most explosive rap feud of the decade. A saga of betrayal, clout, and chaos that's got the entire world talking. But here's the real question. Is it over? Or are we just witnessing the quiet before the next explosion? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that NBA YoungBoy never forgets, and NLE Choppa never backs down. Both of these artists are built for war, molded by controversy, and fueled by energy that doesn't fade. It multiplies, so now it's time for you to weigh in. Whose side are you on? Are you hashtag Team YB, riding for the king of chaos, who always turns hate into history? Or are you hashtag Team CHOPPA, standing behind the fearless voice who dared to call out the industry's most untouchable name? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't hold back. Do you think that leaked audio was real or fake? Was Choppa really clout chasing? Or was YoungBoy playing puppet master the whole time? Because trust me, someone out there knows the truth. And when it comes out, it's going to shake the game again. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single update. Because word on the street is that YoungBoy's next drop isn't a song. It's a message. And when it lands, it won't just change the charts, it'll change the rules. So stay locked in, stay messy, and keep your eyes on that upload feed. Because in this war of bars and betrayal, the next punch hasn't been thrown yet. The story's not over. The next round is coming. Round is coming.